So sorry to keep you waiting.
No, of course not. Of course not. Whereabouts are you in the world at the moment, just out of curiosity?
I'm in Dublin right now.
Oh, okay.
Right now, I'm on my European tour. It started a week ago, so I've been traveling around. And yesterday, we arrived in Dublin, and I finally got a hotel room. We're traveling in a nightliner, so I've been enjoying having a hotel room for a night here
Yeah,
in Dublin.
clean running water makes all the difference.
Yes, and a bed and a shower. Oh, yeah.
Oh, how's the tour been going so far? Like, very excited. What a big tour. Like, I know it's not long until you're literally on the opposite end of the world, like a month.
Exactly. That's crazy to think about. Um, the tour has been great. It's wonderful to be on the road again with my band and to play the new stuff that I just released, to play live. That's like it's a nice feeling. Um, yeah, you never know really what you've created, I think, until you kind of bring it to live on the stage, and it feels great. I've been looking forward to this tour for a long time.
And
And
how,
yeah.
yeah, how's it go playing the new stuff to the fans, like for the first time live? That's got to be exciting because I know you know what songs people like. You've been doing this for a while. You
Hmm.
know what people like, but how's it to see people's faces light up when they hear a new song that you don't know if they're going to like or not? Like, what's that
Yeah.
feeling like for the first time?
I mean, it's always a little bit scary in a way because, yeah, you know that people have certain songs that they connect to and that they just want to hear when they come see you. But at the same time, it's also very exciting, I think, to
Yeah,
play some new material and to kind of sense how it behaves and how the audience receives it, and how the conversation turns
yeah.
out. And yeah, no, it's mostly for me just very exciting, and it kind of keeps me on my toes a little bit.
I was going to say because playing some of the new stuff, it almost keeps like that nervous energy to a bit, like that whole they're going to like the new stuff. Oh, have I put it in the set list correctly? Does that kind of keep you on your
Yeah,
toes and keep it fresh?
it does. It
Yeah,
really does for me. Like, I like to not feel too, um, stuck or
comfortable.
stuck in a certain recipe when it comes to live shows. And I like to, for every tour, to create a special journey, through the set list, um, and it's important for me to kind of um, not entirely build it upon um, the songs that I know people want to hear, but also give them a new experience. So it's I think it's a fine balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to become a greatest hits band. You got 40 more years to go until you become a greatest hits band. So you got to keep it fresh.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
Iron Maiden don't even do the greatest hits. They still play five new songs when they go around on tour. So if Iron
Yeah,
Maiden are playing
I
new stuff, I think everyone can play some new stuff.
yes, I think it's important for an artist, to keep like moving, keep creating, and to kind of keep your fire burning, inside, and do what feels exciting to you. And it also, I think, when you play new stuff at a show, it adds a new energy also to your old stuff, because it adds this fresh energy to a show to play new material that keeps everyone on their toes a little bit, and gives them a new experience.
And speaking of new experience, I think a lot of people in Australia, where you're going to be very, very soon. I can't believe you're over in
Yeah,
Dublin and you're in Australia in like 3 weeks' time. That's kind of crazy to think about. Like,
that is crazy.
what's the mindset? Like, because it literally is coming down to Australia. It's almost like it feels like traveling to the moon. Because I'm Australian myself, of course, and I've traveled all the way over to Europe, and I sit there and I go, how do people do this for a living? I'm going on a holiday and I feel exhausted. I can't imagine getting off the plane and then having to work. Like, how's your mindset when you do these tours? What keeps you kind of fresh going to these shows and traveling all over the world?
Uh First of all, I'm so excited to come to Australia. I have never been there
Mm,
before, and it's my first time, and I've been wanting to go for years and years. So this will be incredible to finally experience Australia and the Australian audience
yeah.
and in all of it. Um, but I think that, touring people or people often ask me, "Oh, isn't it hard? Isn't it exhausting?" And the answer is yes. But um, there's just something about performing live that gives me so much joy and
Mm,
energy. So it kinds of balances it out for me. The long journeys and stuff,
yeah.
they I forget about them once I'm on stage, and it's just such a joy to be
Yeah.
able to play your music in front of an audience and connect with people, and so that's what drives me. And the traveling, well, as long as you're in good company, it's gonna be just fine.
That's it. And you're coming at a
Yes.
beautiful time of year in Australia too. We're just warming up. We're not in summer yet where it's 44 degrees. We're in spring where it's a nice late 20s, beautiful weather. The animals are out, all the trees are
Oh
blooming.
my
Yeah. Yeah,
God.
you've come if this is your first time to Australia, which you just said it was, you are coming at such a beautiful time to actually look at Australia.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't wait to experience, the landscapes and
Yeah.
yeah, all the aspects of Australia. I'm gonna just suck it all in while I'm there.
Well, there's plenty of time down here because not only do you have all the shows opening for Heilung, like you've got your own headline shows, which is crazy for a bit for an artist to come down for the first time to support act and also have headline shows down here
Yes.
is like that is absolutely huge. That must have been like that's such a huge accomplishment and like well done for doing that. Like, what excites you about doing these shows, opening for Heilung and your own shows headlining? Is it a different energy? Is it a bit more stressful doing your own show, or is it a bit more rewarding doing your own show? Like, what's the difference between opening and headlining for you?
Yeah, I see it as, yeah, it's two different
Mm,
experiences, I guess. I mean, I love joining Heilung. I've been fortunate to tour with them also around Europe and America, and they've become such good friends for me. And when I do the show with Heilung, it's like a compressed version of what I do when I do my own shows.
mm,
So I kind of obviously play a much shorter set, but I also choose the songs so that they complement, Heilung's set, because I think it's important that it feels like a
yeah,
whole experience for the audience. So it's not like two completely different worlds.
yeah.
So when I do the Highland thing, it's a bit different than from when I do my own headline shows, which are um, a broader variety of tracks from my catalog. So, and I thought, because I'm bringing my full band with me to Australia, I thought we might as well do my own show as well.
Yeah.
Once we're there on the other side of the world, you know. So I'm super excited for both, both opening up for Heilung and also playing my own shows for sure.
And that's a good segue into promote tickets because if you are going to Heilung and you were thinking about going to a solo show, like you said, two completely different experiences, you might as well go to both if you're in the area. Might as well.
I hope so. I hope people will show up.
I think people are going to show up. I've looked at the ticket sales and everything. I don't think you're going to have a problem with people showing up. I think you're the Australian audience. This is a music down here we don't get very often. We
Oh,
really
really?
no, we don't. It's very look. It's very rare we get artists from Europe or anything come down here, and when they do, we kind of treat them almost as royalty when they come down here because it is such a
Oh
long
my
way.
goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it is
it's
a very long way for sure.
yeah. To
And
think
I'll probably be very jet lagged at the first shows, right?
Yeah, of course, of course. But that's kind of a special thing too, how you fight through that. If you can fight through it, I think you'll do fine. Like I think, for example, even Wardruna are coming down for the first time. This is not a type of music we get down here at all.
Oh my
So it's
goodness.
very, very special. I know I've talked to so many people after I spoke with Heilung as well, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're coming down here. I already got tickets, double shows in almost every city. It is huge. What's coming down here is very
It's
special."
amazing.
So I think you're going to be in for quite a treat because this is something that people are looking forward to that they don't get to see often. So I think you're going to feed off a certain energy that maybe you're not even used to over in the European crowds. I think you're in for
Oh
something
my
special.
goodness. Now I'm even more excited. Yeah, and it's coming up very soon. That's crazy.
I've got to ask because I've obviously got gaming stuff in the background, and you've probably been asked this question a million and one times, but I'm going to ask it, of course, is the God of War stuff. Did that open a bunch of doors to you, or were you interested ever in video game music before collaborating with Bear before these games?
Yeah, so to be honest, I had never in my life played a video game
Wow.
before Bear contacted me, and it was like I didn't even know that world existed in
Mm.
that way. I was like, video games, like what? You know, I was thinking about Pac-Man,
Yeah.
it's like, but no, I didn't know until I experienced it for real, as a part of singing on these soundtracks. I was invited to come to LA for the E3 gaming, what's it called, like event.
Yeah, convention, expo. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you
And
mean.
there
Yeah.
were gamers like in this huge screen, and there were like 6,000 people, and it was like being at a rock concert. They were shouting, and everything, something was happening in the game, and I was singing live while they were gaming, and it blew my mind to see that it's how incredible it
Mm,
is, how and it's like a whole entire world of its own,
yeah.
and that really blew my mind. And yeah, it's been, so much fun to sing on these gaming soundtracks because it's like a movie. It has real like emotional scenes in it and stuff. It's, yeah,
And
mind blowing.
it's so important for music as well because the God of War games, especially the last two, they do have such an emotional bond, which is kind of driven forward with the music. Without a soundtrack, in movies as well, it's very hard
Yes,
to kind of drive a point home. Could you imagine? Could you imagine, like, let's
yes,
go comedy, for example, like Seinfeld? Could you imagine if that show didn't have a laugh track? How weird it
yeah,
might seem
exactly.
if there was no audio to drive it forward. I think people don't understand the power of music and audio and sound and how much it actually drives a narrative. And I think that's why your shows and Heilung shows are so popular at the same time because it's not just the music, it is a narrative and a feeling and a story. You go from one point to the end
Yes,
and it makes you feel. It's not just like listening to,
yeah,
and I'll use AC/DC as an example, kind of pop rock hits. You are there for an experience. It is an
yes.
experience like a book at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And you get to interpret it in your own way, kind of. It's not so locked in
Mm,
with words and stories, but you kind of also get to create your own feelings about it. So it's yeah,
yeah.
it's quite cinematic what Heilung does, for example.
And with everything you've done in your career, you're no stranger. You've done a lot. I've looked at your catalog, and it seems you are afraid of like resting because you have what 10 albums out now. You've got so many things done. You go over, you do these video games, you do all this. What has been a career highlight for you, though? Is there anything where you've looked back and gone, "Wow, I can't believe I did that"? That is something maybe not a lot of humans get to experience, or maybe it was something small. Maybe it was your first, big hit that people actually listen to, and you're like, "Oh wow, people actually like what I do." What has been an actual highlight for you in your career that you take a sense of pride in?
Okay, I think there have been a few, but like
Yeah.
small ones that have led me to the next one and stuff like that. And there's this song that I wrote like years and years ago called Trollabunden, which is a song I just wrote with a drum in my hand.
Mm.
And I was in this hallway in the studio building, and it was in the middle of the night. We were done recording, and I was in this dark hallway, and it had this incredible reverb. And I started just playing the drum and singing this melody, and it just became this little song, which I ended up putting on the album, which is called Trollabunden. And that song was a song that I thought was just like this extra thing in the end,
Yeah.
just a fun little vibe. But it turned out to be my most played song ever. And it's the song that when people come to my shows, um, that's the song they want to hear. And it's really strange with these things that you do something that you never intended for it to be like any
Yeah.
specific success in it. It's just something you do from your heart, and it kind of leads you to the next. And that song brought me to so many strange scenarios and exciting adventures. For example, The Last Kingdom, the TV
Yes.
series that I've been working on. They heard that song, which I wrote like it's almost 20 years ago, and
Yeah.
they heard that all of a sudden, and I ended up co-writing the whole series with them. So it's just these crazy adventures that bring you to the next one. And what else? You asked me what I was proud of in my career.
Oh, yeah, of course, of course. I'm sure you've got a lot to be proud of. It's interesting that you mentioned such a small thing kind of having this huge effect. What's that quote? It's like the flutter of a butterfly's wings can change the course of history because it's just something so small that you've done, like recording a
Yeah,
song. It's just, and it's become this massive
yeah,
thing.
and especially when it's a song that's just a drum and a
Yeah.
voice, which I would never dream of would become something that anyone would ever know about, really. And without a label or anything, it's just lived its own life somehow. And but I think what I'm most proud of is that I am free. I'm a
Mm.
free musician. I don't have to do like um, anything that any label requires of me, or I
Yeah.
think, and it's taken a long time to kind of build that kind of around me so that I can do that independently the way I do, like also creatively. And I think that's what I'm most proud of when I think about
Yeah.
my career, just the journey that I've continued, although it's not always easy to be an artist in this industry. Um, I still stick around, and that's something to be proud of, I think. And I really very much enjoy it. And the reason I do that is because I have the creative freedom that I have.
And that's important. At the end of the day, you, like you said, you are an artist and you are making a certain type of music that is not for radio. It's not 2 minutes and 30
Yeah,
seconds, get to the hook in 20 seconds, do your chorus,
no,
rinse and repeat. You are doing
yeah,
art at the end of the day. And to be
yeah,
free and do your own art is not something a lot of people can say they do. And it is special. At the end of the day, it's special and it resonates worldwide. The fact that you've got fans all over the globe, even all the way down here in, well, I say little old Australia. It's a big land mass, but we all just kind of live on the coast near the water. But to say that you can come down here, do shows in Australia and New Zealand, can't leave New Zealand out of it at the end of the
oh my goodness, yes, New
day.
Zealand.
Oh, what a
Yeah,
beautiful country. You're going to love that as well when you're over there. Oh,
so excited.
I'm almost jealous. But the fact that you can do that with the type of music you do, with the type of art you do, and have the fans and the gathering is truly something special. Plus, like I said, you did the God of War stuff. I'm going to be a sucker at the end of the day. Big fan of those games. Beautiful, beautiful story. Violent game, beautiful story. So I think it kind of fits well
Yes.
with the music you do. But I don't want to keep you up too late. Well, late in Australia. I'm guessing early over where you are in this world. But Is there anything you want to say to the Australian and New Zealand fans before I let you go?
Um, well, I just want to say that I am so extremely excited to finally come over there and to, yeah, play some music for you all and to meet you all. And yes, and grateful that you'll come to the show. And yeah, see you very soon.
If I could give you any advice, if anyone offers you something called a shoey, say no, because you might get
Okay,
that.
really?
Yes.
What is that?
Okay, because I've tricked some bands into this in the past, but I'm being nice today. So a shoey, which kind of sounds like, oh, Australians talk funny. What's a shoey? A shoey is where you get whatever shoe you're wearing, boot, thong, sandal, whatever have you. And whatever drink you have to pour it in that and then drink it out of it. It is an Australian tradition. It tastes,
No way.
yes, it is a big thing. If someone says that, or are you aware of what a drop bear is yet? Have you heard that term?
No.
Okay, that's a
I should
koala.
take notes.
That's a koala. People go, oh, drop bears are these dangerous things, they hang in trees. It's not a lie, but they're koalas at the end of the day. So people might tell you what a drop bear is. It's just a koala. They're not scary. In fact, if you're in Brisbane, which I'm sure, well, you are in Brisbane, if you go to the Australian Zoo, you can even hold one. They weigh a ton, but you can go see one if you want to. What's
Oh
one
my
other
God.
thing? Um, One thing I will say, because it is spring, before you put on your shoes in the morning, maybe just check, just in case no spiders went in there. A good trick Australians like to do is get your socks, even if you're not going to wear them, get your old socks, put them in the top of your shoe. That way you don't have to worry about any creepy crawlies.
Okay, I'll do that
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, that's the only thing I'm scared of. It's spiders. So yeah, but I'm mentally preparing
Look, you're in the
to
city.
meet all the spiders. Yes.
You might see a couple of spiders in the corner of your room, but they're not the dangerous ones. You're in the city. It's only when you go out of town, that's when you get the scary ones. So you'll be fine. You'll be fine at the end of the day. But I cannot wait till you're down here. I'll be at one of the Sydney shows. I am very excited to see it. It's my first experience seeing this type of music live too. So I
Oh, it is
yeah,
so
yeah.
cool.
I honestly don't know. Well, I've heard the music, but I haven't heard it live. And whenever you hear music live, there's a different feeling. So I'm
It
very
is.
excited.
Yeah, it's a whole other thing. Yes.
So I am very
So
excited.
I'm
But
sure you'll enjoy the Heilung show and my show, I hope.
oh no.
And yeah, I mean it's gonna be an experience for sure.
Yeah,
Can promise you that.
I think that's the best thing to say. It will be an experience. But thank you so much for being here today. There are only limited tickets available left, so they will be linked in the YouTube comment below. So click on them now. I think Sydney show, the second show, only has 15 tickets left, so you'll be lucky if you get one. But thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you very shortly.
Thank you so much for having me. See you
No,
soon.
no, see you soon. Thank you so much. Ta.
Bye.
Bye.